Kellyanne really knows how to handle these reporters.
Yes, because they were talking about corruption. And we all like to talk about Joe Biden when we're talking about corruption because as vice president, he's bragging about it January 23rd, 2018 in front of the Council on Foreign Relations in New York City. He's bragging. And I told them, my boss for sure, I told them I'm only here for 6 more hours on the ground. You better fire that prosecutor or you won't get your $1 billion loan guarantees. That's what we're saying to you. The Ukraine who lives in the shadow of Russia, that's what we're saying. Oh, right. They wanted it done that way, right?
The vice president. The president talking about treason. Is that intimidating a witness, Kellyanne?
Kellyanne, what's your main message?
Transcript. Can you please tell us why it's being called a transcript as opposed to a memorandum of understanding? Because it was not verbatim conversation that was documented. Can you just clarify?
It sounds like you don't see any high crimes or misdemeanors either. Are you serious? This is a question you were all asking 3 days ago when you didn't think he would release it.
I'm
now you have it. What would you like to call it? What would you like to call it?
I would like you to clarify.
No, what would you like to call
it? A transcript as opposed to what it really is. It's just notes that could have been edited and revised.
Is that what you're doing? You're accusing people who work for.
In the room.
You're accusing people who do this
for
a living.
I'm asking you to clarify. This is
no, you're not asking me to clarify.
You're
harassing and embarrassing. I'd appreciate the questions not being so repetitive. I don't call you enemy of the people, but I sure the hell can call you enemy of the relevant some days. Ask a question that matters that you haven't asked. What is this witness? He's not intimidating anybody.
He's talking about treason and penalties for treason. Isn't he intimidating this whistleblower from participating with Congress?
Does the whistleblower who you've all held up as a hero?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, isn't that intimidating a witness?
No, it's not intimidating a witness. How? How is it intimidating a witness? You're just making that up, and you're shaking as you ask. Practice in the mirror next time.
Is concern about not enough lawyers in the White House legal counsel. Even some Republicans feel like that Flood could have some more support.
Who are they?
Do you not feel like there's need?
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't hide behind nothing and ask me questions like that. Why would we need to do that? They want to impeach the president. Let's see where this goes.
The Clinton White
Let's
House
see where this goes.
hired
So far, all I heard, they had felonies on Clinton. Clinton lied to Congress on August 17th, 1998. I'm actually old enough to remember watching him do that, watching an American president lie to a grand jury about a sexual relationship. And I see Hillary, some brand new expert on impeachment. I bet she is. She sat in the office I now have in the West Wing. I'm actually being productive up there. And she sat in that office while her husband was being impeached for lying to the grand jury, trying to cover up a sexual affair. Are we anywhere near that? Do you see an analogy here? If that were true, then Adam Schiff wouldn't have to make up. No, I'm amused.
I love how Kellyanne takes control of this this interview or this press conference, I guess, where she basically all the reporters are yelling out their questions to her. I mean, how do they even expect her to answer one question? I mean, when I was listening to it, like you can kind of hear bits and pieces of the variety of questions. I mean, how does reporters, she puts a stop to it. She's like, I'm not going to sit here and be yelled at from you guys. And I love it how she puts one of the reporters in her place when he had asked her a question, and she noticed that he was like shaking and kind of nervous asking the question. And she's like, I'm not going to answer that question. I could see you even shaking. You should practice. She says you should practice in a mirror before you come and ask your questions. I thought that was kind of funny. But I thought she had a really good point about Pelosi, because Kellyanne said that at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, she says, no, we're not going to impeach the president. We need more investigation. We need more information. We need to give time for that to play out. And then Kellyanne said by 4 p.m. that same day, she changed her mind completely. And one of the things that Kellyanne brought to surface is this is a woman in power. And at 1 p.m. she made one decision. But between the time of 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., she just kind of cowered down to the men around her and gave in. And at 4 p.m. says that we're going to go with the impeaching Trump. So, you know, the point that she was making is that she was a woman in power, and she was giving in to the men around her. And when you're a woman in power, you're a woman in power. You got there you got there in a way that didn't cave in to the men around you. You stood tall in your grounds and everything. And here she is just kind of giving in. So that was a good point I thought she made.